Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. With your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, traders and investors. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Benzinga's PreMarket Prep, brought to you by Thinkorswim. I'm Spencer Israel, here with Joel Elconin and Dennis Dick. We got Tommy Lackey joining us this morning at 8:35 for his usual charts and scans. But in the meantime, we've got news from Eli Lilly. We're going to talk all about that guy. A couple earnings still trickling in. Joel is live from Casa de Elconin. And Joel, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How am I coming in here, guys? Loud and clear?
You're coming in okay. You're coming in great on the pre-market show. Let's hope we can keep that going, though. How are we doing on the S&Ps?
S&Ps are trading up just a little under a point here. We matched yesterday's high, went a half a point above it, so keeping an eye on 2203.50. Crude flat, gold and silver just cannot mount a rally. Gold down 380, bearing down on the $1,200 level. Silver off by a penny.
And we got Dennis hanging around too, right? You're here too?
I'm high in the background. Usually Joel introduces me, but he didn't
Yeah.
feel like introducing me today.
I'm doing it.
I guess, because, it's going into U.S. Thanksgiving here. You just figured, well, we're not going to introduce the Canadian.
It's okay. I got you, Dennis.
Thanks, Spencer. I appreciate it.
How was your Wednesday?
My Wednesday's going okay, and I'm very glad I don't own Eli Lilly shares. I had Lilly in my portfolio for about 5 years, sold it in the 80s, and it's looking like that's working out for me here as it's back in the 60s this morning. Tell us about this Lilly news here, Spencer. This is your disaster stock of the day. Yeah, so their dementia or Alzheimer's drug top line results for this baby, solanezumab, I think that's what I'm calling it. So if that's how it's pronounced, great. I don't know how to say this.
Phase 3 clinical trial did not meet the primary endpoint. This was a big bet for them. Apparently, it didn't come close to meeting the endpoint. So that's what you're seeing, the reaction there, and we're seeing some follow through in BIIB as well. This was Dennis. You have a lot of info on this because you've been following this story now for a few years. So tell us a little bit.
Yeah, I've been following along with this, and this Alzheimer's drug was the wild card here for Lilly shareholders. I mean, this was a potential to give them 20-30% more revenue if they could get it pushed through. They knew there was a high likelihood of failure, though. It went for a while here. Forgive me here because I'm still fighting whatever I'm fighting. But anyways, Lilly obviously had been on a big tear here. And now, that this drug actually is not working out. And I'm going to have to take a quick break, guys. You guys keep going with it. But
okay?
I don't know what's happening to me. The drugs are getting to me here, guys. Back in a minute.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about that, Dennis. I'm going to pull up the stock chart here of LLY. Joel, why don't you give us some technicals? Joel, did we lose Joel? Let's see.
Hey, I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Not much to give you here except for that pre-market low. That was the initial dip down to 63.95. Now just hanging a buck above that. Minor resistance here. It's 66 on a rebound, but once again, keep an eye on that pre-market low. Not bouncing much from it. For you Lilly shareholders, we haven't been down here in the lower 60s in quite some time. October of 2014, you had a low at 60.58. So we'll use the half and whole numbers to try and catch a bottom here if you're trying to cover a short.
Okay, trying to talk here. This cold is driving me crazy. So anyways, I'm going to have to probably go and see a doctor here eventually because it's been 2 weeks here now and I'm still fighting it. But anyway, so bear with me, guys. So Lilly, obviously, this has been in the works for a long time here. Now we're seeing, the stock down significantly. And I used to say that, I think I've even said a few times on the show, over the course of the last couple of years. I mean, if this drug was to ever get approved, I think Eli Lilly would pop 20% that day. And I've said for quite a while here, too, that if the stock, misses, it's probably going to fall 10 to 15%. That's what we're seeing here this morning. So you look here and you think, okay, well, Lilly's still a solid company. Lilly still has a good pipeline. Is this drug, that was the wild card, the end of the world here for them? No, absolutely not. But I want to take a cue from Bristol Myers trading action just from a few months ago. Obviously, we saw the stock when their lung cancer drug failed go from 75 to 62 that day. It bounced around a bit, but then continued to leak for a long time afterwards. And this will put the stock out of favor here, and that's why I'm probably not going out here and buying shares of Eli Lilly in my investment account, because just taking that cue from Bristol Myers, the opportunity actually came a couple months later, really, once the washout came here. And you could say, oh, well, this is a washout today, but in the Bristol Myers case, it wasn't. So I'm going to let the dust settle here. Maybe, if the stock got back down to the lower 50s, I think it becomes very, very attractive down there from a valuation standpoint. It's still, at 65, the valuation isn't that bad, but I just think, there's going to be some time here for, everybody to think this through. And I think when the dust settles, I think you might see the stock actually go lower.
Are there going to be any beneficiaries from Lilly's debacle here?
It's tricky. Like in the case of the Bristol Myers drug, you had Merck with a competing drug there, obviously, jumping that day, and Merck got the big jump. I mean, in this case here, Lilly was the leader here. This drug, was really, one that everybody thought, had the best potential to succeed, even though the probability was probably still pretty low. So you've got Biogen, you've got Merck with competing drugs here. You obviously Alzheimer's drugs as well. But I think the market looks at it and says, well, if Lilly's drug is failing, then probably Biogen's drug is going to fail. Then probably Merck's drug is going to fail. And you're seeing Merck trade down 2 points in the pre-market. Biogen is getting annihilated here this morning too. It's down 21 points on this Lilly news. So here comes Lilly with the bad news, and everybody just jumps to the conclusion that Biogen's drug is probably going to fail as well. And that might be the case, but wow, that's a big hit for Biogen.
Looking like you might be able to get Biogen here well into the upper 200s. Pre-market low on Biogen is 282.97. Boy, I'd love to see this thing fill this gap here. A little gap to fill up to 279.93. So potential gap fill here, giving back all those post-election gains.
Yeah, so Biogen, and this is going to weigh on the IBB. I mean, these are two major components here. You're looking at the IBB trade down 8 points in the pre-market. You like trading the XBI, it's down 2.5%. So pick your poison here, but the drugs are going to be out of favor here today. That's going to be, it's easy to identify this sector. As I talk about trying to identify which sector is strong, which sector is weak. That's pretty much easy here today. The drugs are going to be the weak sector this morning. There's an echo. We realize this. We're trying to fix that. Sorry for the audio difficulties.
I'm working on the echo.
Spencer's working.
I'm working on the echo.
Let us know if it gets better, though.
I'm working on the echo and trying to queue up some earnings. So what do we got? We got Deere, right?
Yeah, so like we've said before, it seems like there's always a sector that's going to pick up the slack. So drugs are going to get murdered here today. And it looks like, you get companies like Deere, the money doesn't rotate out of stocks, it just rotates into other stocks in different sectors. And it looks like the ag stocks could probably get a lift off of this Deere earnings report here. Spencer, tell us about the details.
We got, I just have the numbers and lost them. There we go. Q4 EPS for Deere, 90 cents versus a 40-cent estimate. Revenue $5.65 billion versus $5.38 billion. They do see equipment sales projected to decrease about 1% for the next fiscal year and down 4% for Q1 year over year. But overall, great report.
Looking at the stock trade up 11% here in the pre-market through the $100 psychological level. Joel, is this an all-time high for Deere?
Sure is.
Unbelievable.
Pre-market trading. You just hit 104 even. You backed off $1. Former all-time high in Deere was 99.80. Once again, your half and whole numbers could be important if you're looking to peel out of something. 104, that's your pre-market high.
Wow, so a huge move here. Caterpillar trading up in sympathy. It's up over 2% in the pre-market as well. All these stocks that were thrown out and had for dead there, if we just look back, even into the beginning of the year, Deere hit $70. Caterpillar was really getting hit at the beginning of the year too, went under 60. All these stocks are back.
Yeah, and Cat has been on a roll too here. We'll take a look at Caterpillar. See, they've already reported, so won't see maybe as much activity. 95.50 trading at the highs of the pre-market session. Boom, you want a good level there. 95.50 was your high on November 14th.
Chat's really saying we got a lot of audio difficulties. Let's take a quick break, see if we can work this stuff out, because it seems like there's an echo on me. Spencer's voice isn't coming through well here now. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back at you. Hopefully solve these audio difficulties.
And we're back, traders and investors, to pre-market prep. Sorry about that little bit of a delay. I think we may have solved that echo problem, so let's get right back. I'm sorry, what was that, Dennis?
I said we're hoping.
Yeah, we're hoping we solved the echo problem. So let's get right back into the stocks.
Okay, so jumping back, you had some earnings reports from last night. Hewlett Packard here. HPQ reported earnings. Spencer, tell us about the details.
Oh, I thought you were going to say didn't HPE also report? There was two HPs last night, right? Or no, just one of them. Okay, HPQ Q4 adjusted EPS 36 cents, in line with the estimate revenue 12.5 versus 11.88 billion dollars. The Q1 guidance is the adjusted EPS at the low end of the estimate. Their fiscal year adjusted EPS also pretty much in line.
I can't hear the show, so I'm hoping, for whatever reason, that people still can because I've got audio difficulties now on my end. But HPQ and HPE both reported earnings, so if you're just wondering which stock, it's both of them, actually. Hewlett Packard, the legacy operations, obviously, and then you have HPE Enterprises, which is HPE. Both of those stocks are trading down here in the pre-market. I couldn't hear what you were saying, Spencer. I've lost audio completely. So, did you give the HPE numbers?
No, I didn't. I was actually looking at HPE when you said HPQ. So now let me go over to HPE because they also reported Q4 adjusted EPS 61 cents. That's in line. Sales of 12.5 versus 12.85 billion dollars.
Joel, we got technicals for two stocks here that we need. Hewlett Packard's been on a tear. HPQ and HPE hasn't been on as much of a tear here. What do you think of these two stocks?
Pre-market low, and we're going to HPQ here, is 1540. That matches a low that you had on November 11th at 1536. So there's your support levels. After that, you're looking under $15 to $14.90. HPE, we'll take a look at that issue, trading down as well. That has a double bottom on the 15-minute charts here at 22.24. If it doesn't hold that, look out for 21.50.
So HPQ, one thing I will say about this is there is some dividend protection. The HPE's dividend is a lot lower, only 0.29%, but HPQ 3.38% dividend. I also think that this is a stock that's been on a run, so I think about that 50% retracement at 13.77. Carry the 2.16.19. Joel, what's the quick math on that run here from October, November for the 50% retracement HPQ?
Boy, you caught me off guard here.
You're good with this, though. You're good at the air math.
HPQ here, let's call it, boom, little over $15, low, right at that 14.80, 14.90 area is where it comes in.
So looking about 50 cents lower from here. We do apologize. We're trying to work out these echo. I thought we had it worked out, but some people were saying there still is a bit of an echo on me. Urban Outfitters, URBN, also reported earnings there last night, and the stock is trading down 10% here in the pre-market, so assuming the report wasn't very good.
Well, it was down about 2.2%, just ahead of the report. Q3 EPS 40 cents versus 44 cents. Sales $862 million versus $869 million. Shares were down 9% following that report. So no, we're not very good. That was the place that bought the pizza restaurant, right?
Urban Outfitters is selling pizza now?
No, no, last year, right? Didn't they buy the... Right? Or am I thinking of something
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, Urban Outfitters bought the pizza joint last year.
All right, the pre-market low comes in at 34.16, fills the gap that you had in the issue going way back until November 9th. So the gap to fill, you need to get right into this area where you're currently trading just a little bit lower. Get down to 33.10 and you fill the gap.
And one other report here to talk about GameStop, GME. That stock is trading up 3% here in the pre-market. It was kind of a yo-yo ride here after the earnings. This stock had a big gap down beginning of November. It's filled that gap here now. How did they report here last night, Spencer?
Q3 GAAP EPS 49 cents versus 47 cents. Sales 1.96 billion versus 1.99 billion. They do see Q4 comps down 7 to 12%. I was talking about GameStop with Luke over the weekend. We were just wondering, how are they going to make money? Luke noted that you can buy calls on this baby all the way out to 2019. But how are they going to make money? We were talking about that over the weekend, and not
why. Why do you think they can't make money?
Just, I mean, what are they going to sell? Like phones? Like what can they sell?
Why they're not going to stop selling games? I didn't hear this part.
But everything and now is online, right? Like you can buy games like through your gaming console, right? So,
We had this conversation. It's interesting you bring this up because we had this conversation about a year ago at GameStop, and Joel and I brought up this. Remember this? Me and you brought up the same point, Joel. It's like, well, everybody's doing this, getting this stuff online for free. Why do you need to go to a video game store to buy? And that's why I haven't loved GameStop either. But then some people were saying there are some hardcore gamers out there though that want the physical game. They still go into these stores, so maybe their core customer base there is that hardcore that they go in there. I'm not sure. But it's a good point you're making. I mean, you can get all this stuff for free online or cheap online. Why are you going to go into a physical store to buy a video game?
Yeah, no, that's what they sell. They sell the physical video game, but you don't really need that anymore. You can buy the game just on through your gaming console. I do think that in about 5 years, maybe 10, you'll see or probably maybe 5, you'll see the retro hipster game movement where people will want to go into GameStop and just to buy the old physical CDs. But
that's what they were saying. Somebody was on our show and we asked them this question. I can't remember who it was, but I think was it Michael Pachter?
Well, Pachter, yeah, you know what? It may have been Pachter. Pachter is actually going to be on the show on Monday. So we can
so this is a good question for Michael Pachter. I think last time he was on the show, though, he was saying just what you said, that there is, hardcore gamers that just go in there and they want the physical cartridge. They want the physical game in their hand. So that's their core customer base. So that's why I think he was, defending it, I think, last time on the show. But I'm not sure. We'll ask Michael Pachter that Monday, though, because he's the guy to ask. But he is the gamer of, analysts.
Taking a look at the pre-market action, spiked up to $25.95. Couple highs right there at the $26 level to keep an eye on. $26.14, $26.46. The stock's been a doghouse for a long time. Just traded 2010 on November 2nd, so you need continuations to that $26 level, or I think you just may find some sellers. Anybody that caught this thing, $24 and under, is looking pretty good.
Okay, jumping into yesterday's action because there was some violent moves here again, and violent to the upside in the steel stocks. Imagine right before Trump being short of stock like U.S. Steel, or being short of stock like NUE, or being short of stock like AK Steel. These steel stocks, since Trump has got in, they're pricing like this wall is going up today. I mean, these stocks have just been a monster move. U.S. Steel was $20 when Trump got in 2 weeks ago. It's now $32.21 after tacking on another 15% yesterday. Also looking here at Nucor Steel, which is, Nucor, which I always said is, the best of breed. I own this one in my invest portfolio. It's got a lot more stability than the other ones, lower beta. But man, this is a move that's out of the ordinary for it too. And I was tempted to say this last week on the show. When the stock hit 59, I was tempted to lighten up. I haven't yet. Now it hit 62.31 yesterday. It looks like breakout center here again. I mean, when does this run stop for these steel stocks?
It's hard to say. I mean, you hit for X yesterday. You did hit 32.40. Haven't been up in this area since late December of 2014. You had a high at 32.90. I mean, this is a pretty liquid stock, so maybe wait for a double top or something to show, at least a seller stepping in somewhere. If not, if you're protecting profits, on the downside, just move that stop up. A lot of gaps in here to fill on the downside. Once again, yesterday's high, you want to see some follow through that. That's 32.90, or 32.40. Keep an eye out. Might be a big seller at 32.5.
Don33 asked what we think of Steel Dynamics, STLD. It's the same thing. All these stocks have just been running $24 to $36 in basically a month. That's a big move. I mean, it's the definition of chasing here now. It's worked, though, lately. So, I mean, chasing has worked on some of these stocks. It's going to eventually stop working. There's going to be a washout day where these things fall 10, 15% one day. But, I mean, they've continued to run so far here now. If you bought them a week and a half ago, you're up so much now. I think maybe the best way is something Joel talked about is maybe trailing stops all the way up. If you're long the thing, raise your stop order up a little bit more and keep bringing it up. At least your mental stop there. Say if it goes under 34 and Steel Dynamics, I'm going to get out. Otherwise, I'm going to keep riding this trend because this trend is a rocket ship right now. It will end, but we just don't know where.
Taking a look here, you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up days in a row. We've seen stocks certainly do more than that. A lot of these situations, you can keep an eye on the highest low of the move. That's been 33.59. Also, focus on the close, 35.29. That was less than 20 cents from yesterday's high.
Let's look at Alcoa here too. AA, it's not a steel stock, but aluminum, and it has been moving here too since the washout day back in November when they when they spun off their other company. The stock has been straight up since then. It's found some resistance here at 32, so it looks like there's maybe a seller lurking there. So not quite as good news in here because it does look, like there is a potential for a top to be starting to form there at 32. But if it takes out 32, then all bets are off. So if I'm looking at this from the short side, I'm thinking, okay, 32 is my bogey. So it's trading 32.10. I'm getting out, but if I'm trying it from the short side, you're risking 60 cents here this morning.
And the same thing, triple top here, 32.02, 31.77, 31.91, 32 is a big level. Now, I don't know how relevant this is, but 32.10, that was the high before they did the spin-off. Also a high at 31.96. So this one, if all of them, looks like you may have a potential top. The other ones still like they're running pretty good.
Jumping over to some other sectors here, just looking at some ratings changes actually. Abercrombie and Fitch here is getting downgraded to sell this morning at Deutsche Bank. A little bit late to the party. Stock's actually been bouncing back. And we talked about big levels, and I think we even said this one on the show that 14 was the level that Abercrombie had to hold. It did. It put it at a double bottom right down to 14.22 and 14.19. So that is good news. And you know what? I think on this pullback here this morning, it's pulling back 30 cents. I think it gets back to the 14 handles. I think it finds buyers.
Yeah, we had talked about that recent low of the move at 14 even. Gave you a couple shots, 14.19, 14.22. So might have to step out a little bit ahead of that. Not trading much in the pre-market. First, you have to deal with yesterday's low at 14.84. So that's your first level of support. And I think things will thicken up too with bids between, if it does take out 14.84, I think you might even see buyers step up 14.50, 14.40, but real nice support, super major support, ANF just above the $14 area.
A few people asked me about Twitter here this morning. It did catch a downgrade just about 20 minutes ago from OTR Global. If you look, actually, Twitter started selling off right on that news. Stock is trading right here, 1847 in the pre-market here right now, which is down about 1%. Just looking, been quiet consolidation for 4 days for Twitter in a row between 1850 and 1860. It's taking out that 1850 support here now, so now I start thinking about 18 again.
Series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows right in the 1850 area. We'll see if buyers reemerge. Yesterday's low, 1851. Same thing, tight range on the upside too, from 1887 to 1896, 14 consecutive highs. So let's see if those buyers reemerge here. I don't know how big OTR Global is, but definitely need to hold 1850, or as Dennis mentioned, could be trading in the lower 18s. I see a series of lows between 1791 and 1807.
Did you guys hear? Wait, did you hear about what happened to Jack Dorsey's Twitter account last night?
It got hacked or something?
It got suspended by mistake. Yeah, he lost 700,000 followers in the process. But
so stop. Why does he lose the followers if Carol suspended? Why does that happen?
No, he had to create a new account. Is I think.
I had to create a new account altogether. So he lost his account.
Lost his account and lost. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that sounds horrible.
I mean, if that right there doesn't epitomize, Twitter as like a functioning business, they're shutting down their own CEO's Twitter account by mistake. I mean,
so when you shut it down, there's no way for him to get it back with those followers?
Dude,
like, is it done?
Dude,
that's scary.
I don't know. I mean, let's see.
I'm just saying, like, I've got like 6,000 followers, but I worked really hard to get those 6,000 followers, and I'd be pretty disappointed if all of a sudden my account was suspended and I had to start over again. I don't even think I would bother starting over again if that happened.
I don't know the semantics of it. I just, according to this, this article in the Guardian, according which cites, a public, just a straight count of before and after, he's 700,000 followers down from where he was, but I don't know the semantics of how it actually works. I've never had my account suspended, so No, can't say.
Apparently, the echo gremlins here are back because everybody's complaining about the big echo here. Is that echo, just a question for the chat, is that echo just on me? Is it just on Joel? Is it on Spencer? Who's the echo on?
I'll tell you who it's
or is it
on.
on the
I'll
entire
tell you.
show?
I'm listening to the show in two places at the same time right now, and it's the echo is on you two, not me. I'm perfect. So, it's
Well, that makes me think there's something happening in the Benzinga office. We're pumping in this audio here from elsewhere. What's I don't know. Anyways, I'm not a technical guy here, so hopefully we can get this figured out.
Right.
But
What about Juno down 44% on a clinical hold from Buy Apple here? Let me see this. I didn't see this morning.
Wow, when did that happen?
Yeah, I'm seeing a headline from 801.
I didn't see it
Yeah, 801, right? Juno Therapeutics places this drug for a phase 2 trial on hold after 2 patients suffered a cerebral edema earlier this week. 1 patient has died. The other patient is not expected to recover. So shares, I think, were halted but have now resumed trading.
That's why. So probably 8:30. So we just still reopened here. Holy cow, down 42% in the pre-market. So we spoke too soon saying Lily was going to be the disaster stock of the day. You have Juno, the disaster stock of the day, and holy cow, it's going to put pressure on your IBB and your XBI. They've fallen even farther here now. JUNO trading at $18 after trading $29.88. That is crazy.
Joel, do we still have you? I'm not sure if Joel's here still with us. He may be.
We've got audio difficulties here, guys. We're sorry about this. We thought we had.
Why don't we take a break here and we'll give Tommy a call and see if we can get this taken care of.
Sounds good. We'll be right back with Tommy Lackey of Relativity Capital Management. We'll be right back.
Whether you're a short-term swing trader or a long-term investor, you need to check out Thinkorswim, brought to you by TD Ameritrade. There's a reason why Thinkorswim has been named the #1 trading platform, because it has it all. With Thinkorswim, you can trade stocks, options, futures, forex, and virtually every other type of order. Get notifications on mobile devices and interact with other traders in chat rooms. You can also use technical indicators and see the latest investing and trading education in Think Money magazine. If you want to keep up with the markets, you need Thinkorswim. To experience everything Thinkorswim has to offer, open a TD Ameritrade account today. Thinkorswim, the online trading platform for traders and investors. TD Ameritrade, member SIPC. All investing involves risks.
All right.
Welcome back, traders and investors, to Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep, or what's left of us. Joel has left us for the day, and we are having some major technical difficulties trying to get a hold of Tommy Lackey. So I don't think we're able to do that, unfortunately, and Dennis also with the echo. So it looks like we're just going to have to go ahead and chalk today up as a loss. I do apologize for all the problems. I had problems pretty much from the moment I walked into the office this morning with Joel's computer. So I'm going to go ahead, and as soon as I end this, we're going to go ahead and work on that, making sure we're all set to go for Monday's show. Obviously no show tomorrow, and like we said earlier, no show on Friday. So we're going to end today's show a little early, so apologize for the technical problems and the lack of information, the lack of Tommy Lackey. I know some of you are looking forward to talking with him. He's still in the chat, I think. Well, we're going to hang out there until 9, at least I will. And so we will see you guys on Monday, and everyone have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you then.